我们说，
是进我们的。大家记住，今天谁想当主持人，就在自己的名字后面改成一个 F。
Okay, guys, thank you everybody for joining us. We are going to go with 48 folks. We said 42, but we're looking for groups of 6 in these breakout groups. We had a few facilitators who weren't able to make it in. So we are capped right now at 48, and that will be it. So thanks, guys, for joining us. Let's do a little slide presentation here. And Myra also will be translating to Chinese. Go ahead, Myra.
Today I'm not the translator, okay?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Luna, let me check if my translator are coming.
Luna should be here. I let her in a little bit ago.
Okay. 小峰在线吗？
在线。
小峰，你来负责一下今天的翻译吧。
我吗？
对，同传。
那要王毅来。
不是海峰，是小峰。
好，吓死了，吓死了。
All right, guys. Go ahead, Myra.
如果小峰没有来的话，你现在先开始。小峰来了，你接替下来，我在线联系他。
So let me go ahead and share my screen, guys. And also, if you could stay on mute for a little bit, that'd be great. We will soon be going into these breakout rooms of 6 people each, and you'll have a facilitator who will help you, will help guide the conversation, and we'll have slides of their own. So let me share my screen here, guys. All right, so a lot of you guys, welcome to the EOS Constitution discussion. This is the first, this is the second week, I should say, the first actual week of calls and information starting to flow. You guys already know a little bit about us, most likely, if you're here, but welcome. And of course, we're serving under our mission, empowering EOS for all, and we're hoping to inform every community member, or as many as possible, and provide a platform for collaborative decision-making. And as you well know, this is the first initiative. It's the Open Constitution Referendum Series. It's a 12-week organizational framework. So I'll let Luna translate. And Luna, you may have to unmute yourself as well. If you hit, look for your unmute button. Here, I'll unmute. Yeah, there you go. You got it. And try hitting unmute again. I saw you hit it. Here, see if this works.
你要撇除那个静音在下面那个地方，左下角。
看到了，我现在来翻译吧。
哦，
露娜，如果你在的话就可以开始，我会协助你的，哪里不对？
那我就先把他刚刚讲的是第一段吧，因为我刚刚没有听。
是，长话短说，可以跟大家简单介绍一下。
好的。
So move to the, go ahead.
Yes, EOS Alliance, and they serve under their mission, empower EOS for all to help inform community member and provide a platform for the decision making. And their first invitation is to 我要翻译中文对吧 ？Sorry.
There you go. Yeah.
不好意思。
OK.
That's all right.
大家过测试会议的都知道了，今天呢是做一个为期12周期的一个公约的公投的系列，就说希望咱们今天做的是中文组的人，现在目前有67个人在线，就希望我们每一个人都能为 EOS 的未来献一份力， 最终目标呢，之后大家会被分到小的房间里面，大家一定来策划开放，最终呢起草一份公约。Okay, I finish this part. We can move on. Kevin, you're okay.
There we go. I'm here. All right, so the video conference goals. We're looking to show everybody how to take an article of the Constitution and break it down to the values and core beliefs and design principles. So we want everybody to be able to understand exactly what's behind these Constitution articles. And also we'll do the same for Dan's proposal eventually as well. And of course, we'll be helping to organize or allowing community members to self-organize into a 5 to 7 person working group in preparation for week 3, which will be a deeper dive into these design core principles. More information on that to come. I'll let you translate.
原理的原则呢是，咱们这次有一些价值观，就说是一个开放，一个非常开放、一个公开的环境，大家都可以来为自己这份公约贡献一份力量。不仅是今天中国区的，明天韩国区，未来有英国区的。最终呢，是我们鼓励社区的成员来自己成立一个工作小组。今天大家会看到这个5到7个人的小组，有点像我们上一次去韩国参加会议的，不过这一次是在线的。但所有的事情呢，我们都会录下来，稍后呢，大家都会传到一定的位置。所以说，我也在提议说，今天我们与会的人的名字也会被记下来。所以说，我们每一个人都为公约出了一份力量。Go ahead, Kevin.
Yep, thank you. And so we have, of course, the links that you've seen probably from the post. If you want to learn more about the Constitution, please visit the GitHub on the EOS mainnet GitHub. And also Dan has his intent of code is law proposal up as well on his Medium blog. Seeking volunteers, you guys, a lot of you have seen the links as well. We can skip over this because folks have seen these links. If you want to volunteer, we're open for it. And also if you'd like to help sort of spread the word about these calls and to help summarize them for everybody, then you can also volunteer for that. There's a separate form to fill out. Actually, I'll let you go ahead and translate for that as well.
OK, 这边有一个基金会的志愿表格，就说每个人可能擅长的事情不一样，所以说呢，我之后会以公众号的版本给大家发出去。如果呢，我发现大家没有法用谷歌的这个填写，我会想到一个公众号，比如说腾讯的表格的形式，就说未来不管你是对这个会有什么意见，咱们都是采纳，就希望就是整体的最终的原则是采纳大家的这个限制，每一个人的才能和智慧。Okay, so go ahead, Kevin.
All right, and actually I think Thomas Cox is here now. Thomas, can you hear us? You there?
Yes, I hear you well. Hopefully you hear me reasonably well.
There you are, yep. Good.
Awesome.
So as you can see, we're just going through the basic slides, the starting information about this Constitution referendum series. The tentative schedule is here. You guys can check out the first post if you want to learn more about the schedule. It probably will change, obviously, as everything does in EOS. We won't go through it right now. We'll just focus on this call. So we'll go forward. And of course, how the Constitution will be chosen at the end is the one to receive 15% token holder vote for 30 days within a 120-day window, and it must hold that for the 30-day process, for the 30 days, excuse me. And if more constitutions get higher than 15% token holder vote, then of course the constitution with the highest percentage will win.
Okay.
Registration notes, week 1. So let's see the call schedule. If you're unable to, and also please spread this to your communities, guys, where if you or you know someone who is unable to keep up with these calls or cannot make it, help spread the word about where they can read more, get a recap, or get a video recap of what's going on. There will be opportunities for other people to jump in throughout this process, throughout this series. Jump into a working group as long as they are up to speed and able to produce some value and provide some good feedback. And I'll let you translate there.
Okay. 给大家看到了，目前定的时间呢是晚上9点到10点，觉得大家是比较适合的时间。就说这个时间还是可以改的。如果你们觉得说有其他人说啊，我们无法与会，但我觉得这个时间已经很适合了。然后12周的会议，今天是第1周，就是今天大家 go through 一下。可能前期我们今天会用一些时间来沟通，但未来的话会非常快。之后我们会议的话，今天会有会议纪要，也会有视频。之后呢，最终的这个信息呢会被 同传或者会被写到文字的档案下面会来发布出去。但总之呢，大家一定是要提意见，比如大家觉得说今天会议形式可以改进，一定是要献计献策。Go ahead, Kevin. You muted yourself.
I should be better at this by now, you'd think. But is there, Thomas, do you know, is there a way for us to notify the folks in the waiting room that we are full at this point? I have not found a way to do that.
Honestly, no.
Okay.
I think they're just going to have to remember or notice or afterwards catch up and discover, oh yeah, there was an attendance limit. Oh yeah, not everyone got in. Oh yeah, there's a recording and there's a written summary. I'll have to make do. And folks, as we get more volunteer facilitators, we can expand the attendance cap and still get a good coverage in the 5 to 7 person breakouts where the real work happens. And we also will be doing work offline, remember. It's not all in the calls. We'll be doing written exchanges all week long, as well as these. And you can break out and have your own conversations and come back and offer written summaries. So it's always going to be a combination of live interactive stuff like this, breakout rooms, and side conversations that you get into. And the most important thing is what gets written at the end, because we will all see each other's written summaries, but we won't all be in each breakout room. So the short answer is no. We can't tell the people on hold why they're on hold or the fact that they're never getting in today. And I'm very sorry for that. Hopefully they're seeing this recording now and know that we're very sorry, and we are limited by number of facilitators.
Okay. Thank you.
If folks want to put that into Telegram and explain it over there, or into WeChat, let folks know, why can I not get in? Because we are full.
OK， 这个房间是有限的，没有罚，好像貌似没有罚再多的人进来了。就是大家还是需要有更多志愿者。如果有一天你们自己可以开一个会所，开一个房间，那是最好，开一个开会的房间。所以说还是一个开放的一个原则。我们不仅可以今天开会，线下再去开会，线下再去小聚，比如说北京的海丰会举一个，上海我们这边做一个，每个地区是可以，你们可以在线下来发挥余热的。But this is the one to download Zoom, so we can fast cover this one.
Yeah, most folks here seem to have been able to download Zoom, so they're here. But of course, if you know someone who's trying to get in these subsequent calls, help them. You can share this slide. I'll even go back if you'd like to take a
they're watching the recording, pause the recording, follow the instructions. We'll see you next time.
Facilitators. So we do have some facilitators in the call, and we've already done some testing with them, and then we thank them, of course, for working with us. You'll become more intimately familiar with them here in a little bit as we break out into the rooms. The facilitators are going to help during these community calls. We're looking for groups of 6 with this call. As we said earlier, we capped this one at 42. We'll end up with 48 to allow everybody to get in, plus Thomas. And facilitators here need to speak Chinese and English as well. And the goal for the facilitators they're hoping to guide the conversation to a conclusion. So there will be 2 primary questions that you'll see on the slides that the facilitators will show you in the breakout rooms. And then the facilitator will help to nominate a spokesperson, and the spokesperson is not supposed to be the same as the facilitator. So someone else will have to volunteer in those breakout groups and be able to say, yes, I would like to stand up for my group and speak on their behalf to the wider group. Because after the breakout groups, we'll all be coming back together in here, and we will ask those spokespeople to share. And I'll let you translate that.
比如说，我现在是我的名字后面有一个 F， 就证明我是这个小会的主持人。比如说，我等会儿拉了一个小房间，那接下来呢，我会来引导大家做这次会议。那最终还会有一个发言人，我希望这个发言人是和主持人不同的一个人，这样你们有更多的机会可以来说。所以说我真的建议大家，不管是在电脑上也好，还是在笔上也好，你们可以记下自己小组的一些问题、疑问，然后最终讨论的这个结果。希望的是真的一些真实的意见，因为只有我们这个敞开心扉说一些真实的意见，才能真的让我们有所改进。Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, and also if you'd like to be a facilitator on future calls, or if you'd like to volunteer, you can go back to that volunteer form that we just talked about a few slides ago, and you can find that in most of the EOS Alliance posts for that form.
如果你就是觉得今天我没准备好，我只想听，或我今天只想来说，那下一次也可以欢迎大家多当主持人，多来进行一个领导者的角色，好不好
Okay, so we'll jump forward here. Here's the discussion week 1. So why we're here today, we have an interim constitution right now, right? And we need a ratified constitution. Hopefully sometime after the end of this series, we will have come up with a few good candidates and the community can vote on the best one. We need the token holders to vote. And of course they need good choices to vote on. So that's our end goal here, guys. This is the very beginning. Everything today will seem kind of basic. If it could seem kind of basic, I should say. We're just going to have basic questions. We're going to start sort of get a feel for what the community sentiment is. And that's kind of the goal. We want to have kind of a slow introduction so that everyone can get involved and stay up to date on what's happening as this happens. And of course, once the breakout groups separate and start to work on their own parts, we're hoping they will keep everyone updated as much as possible throughout their process so that the community can stay involved. I'll let you translate that.
There are 1,000 people contact me right now. Seems they cannot enter it anymore. Seems we already reached our limit of the room. Okay. So like a lot of facilitator, the host cannot enter anyway. So OK， 咱们就说一下这次会议的这个最终的这个方案，就说怎么样来操作这个4分钟。整体来说，就说我们。OK， 我刚才没有仔细跟踪他这件事儿，就说大家可以看一下这一页，就说最终呢，咱们出现了做了2份这个公约，是持币者人15%的持币人来做投票的选择的，我们也只是来起草这件事儿。OK， go ahead.
All right, everybody. So it's time for some action from you guys. So we need everybody to pay attention for just a moment, please. We need you to change your name in Zoom here, and there is kind of a little key here to do this, if you can see all of it. So we want you to change your name to include your country or city, and only for facilitators, folks who have already been through the training with us before. So if you've been on previous calls with us here testing, then you can put the F for facilitator. So you can see the examples there. I'm going to go ahead and change my name as well. Everybody right click on your picture and you should be able to hit rename, and you can go ahead and do that. I'll give you a couple minutes.
Another way to access that command is when you put your mouse over your face, you'll get 3 dots in the upper right corner. Clicking the 3 dots will open a menu, and one of your choices will be to rename. It may be a little bit harder on mobile, but I know people on mobile clients have managed to rename themselves, so I'm sure you can.
OK， 大家可以把名字改一下啊。然后我建议，如果明媚我的小助手在线的话，能不能跟大家在群里回复一下，说没有法进群的原因是我们人已经满了，欢迎大家下一次来提前报名。然后大家可以先把自己的名字可以看中文版的，如果你觉得你只会讲中文，你就不要管你的名字。如果你觉得我想挑战一下自己也加英文，那么你在名字后面加一个 EN 的这个名字。OK, go ahead. It's our time now.
All right,
and
guys.
If you can make me a co-host, I'll help put facilitators out into their rooms, and you can start the assignment of people into breakout rooms.
Yep, you're a co-host already, and so is Myra. So we can all help assign folks. So we're going to start putting you guys. Go ahead, Thomas.
I was just saying, if we can get the breakout rooms started, that would be super. Whoever's the host apparently has control of that.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make you the full-blown host here. That should work.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers, folks.
You can see the sequence of events, guys, here in this meeting. So you got the briefing of the process already, and we're going to go into those breakout rooms right now and discuss your thoughts on the Constitution. The facilitators have the slides. So when you are in those breakout rooms, you won't be able to see slides from me. You will have to see it from your facilitator directly, and they already know how to show that. And then each room creates the summary and picks a spokesperson as well.
如果你是主持人，等你进了小房间以后，你给大家来分享这个屏幕，然后有一个过程，大家下面几页有，比如说为什么你喜欢 EOS 呀，你有什么意见？所以说主持人要承担更多的一个工作。我们现在可以分房间了。Okay, we can start.
Yeah, Kev, I don't see the controls for breakout room. Do you have controls for breakout room visible to you on your screen?
It actually made me I just handed it over to you. I was having a hard time sending it over to you, but check again and see if it worked.
No. Oh, there. Oh, what a relief. Okay. so we've got 64 participants. We're going to be creating 10 breakout rooms.
We have 49 total. It shows more participants because all the waiting room folks are there as well.
Okay.
Should be 49, I think. Or yeah, 49 including you.
Oh, I see, in the meeting. Got it. Okay, then we'll blow away, delete a couple of those rooms so we have an appropriate amount. And what I'm going to do is start putting the English language folks who have EN or ENG in their name into the first couple of meeting rooms. And Kev, if you'll start with room 8, hopefully that's visible to you, and you can start putting people into.
I don't see anything yet.
Okay, this may take a while, folks.
Yeah, this is the part we
step.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, this is the part that could take a while. If you don't have ENG after your name, I'm not going to think you're an English speaker, and I may stick you in a room full of Mandarin speakers.
如果你只说中文的话，名字后面不要加 "en" 2个字儿，这样咱们就在中文的小组里面。你觉得我们只说中文，那你就不要加 "en" 2个字儿。
Okay, room 3 is going to be my Korean room. And I think I have 2 people who have flagged themselves as Korean speakers.
这会儿大家稍微要稍等一会儿，因为分房间可能要用上1、2分钟时间。大家，我记着大家就是大家可以先提前看一下这个问题。先比如说在分房的时候，我们可以先看一下这个，比如说之后你要回答的问题，比如说你叫什么名字呀，哪一点最吸引你？我建议的话，大家是最好的这一小组相互融合起来，就是认识新朋友。相互的融合起来，然后真正熟悉了以后呢，再说出自己心里想说的话。所以说我把这个 PPT 再在中文的这个公众号里面、微信号里面再发一个。
Oh, good heavens. And maybe grouping people more or less by the alphabet as well.
To the facilitators, I just shared a slide deck for you. Look in the facilitators group chat on Telegram, and you'll see the link there for you to share.
Okay, I'm going to open rooms, and folks who didn't get assigned to rooms will stay here, and I will then start passing you off into additional rooms.
好问题啊！公众号的名字现在是 EOS Alliance， 虽然没有怎么发新闻，只发了1、2期。那如果你有我微信的话，我可以邀你进微信的群。好的。就麻烦你们，要是在群里的有人说进不来的话，你可以跟大家解释一下，说今天房间满了。 OK，我被分到小房间了，大家等会儿再见啊。
And once I make goodness gracious.
Excuse me, could you please assign me to a Chinese speaking group? I was just assigned to an English group.
Oh, Achilles, yes, of course.
Oh, thank you.
I will do my best.
Hello, I want to go to the Chinese group too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, I see. Okay, breakout room 2 should be for you then. Interesting. It's allowing me to assign people to rooms even when the room is, when they're not actually connected. Okay, you should have a room assignment. If you don't like your assignment, you can leave and come back, and I can reassign you to a different room. So Siki, I don't know why it's not letting me put you into a room. It's very strange.
Oh, I just lost my connection for a moment, so maybe that's why.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So it's interesting. You all have assignments. It's not showing me. Oh, there's one person without an assignment. Okay, great. Yeah, it's showing that you have a room assigned. Yes.
Thomas, can you put me to number 2, because I can speak Chinese and Korean, and actually I'm Korean, but I'm based in Chinese company, so I think I should go to number 2 room. It should be right.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
I think there was a mistake. This is Raman. I was put in a Mandarin room. I surely can't speak that. So.
Okay, Ramon. I'll try and get you into the more appropriate room. I'm not seeing your name. You appear to still have an assignment. Yeah. This is clearly not an exact science. Yeah, if you're not actually in a breakout room right now, I'm not finding your name on the list of people to assign to rooms.
You mean me,
So,
or?
Yeah, Anna, I actually think I assigned you to room number 3, which should be a Korean language. I'm sorry, an English or a Chinese language room.
Oh, because when I get into number 3, there's only all English speaker there, so that's why.
Okay, let me try putting you in room. I'll put you in room 8.
Okay, thank you.
Try that. Yeah.
So Kevin, and Thomas, I still see myself in assigned to a room, and I can join the same room. How do I unassign myself?
I don't think you can. I think I have to. Oh, I see. Raman, I found you. Okay. I think you should now have an English language room, Raman.
All right, I got it. I think let me try to join that.
Okay, great. So, Achilles, I am trying to find you.
Okay, okay, thank you.
There we go. I had you in 5. I'm going to put you in 8, which I believe is Mandarin. Is that correct
Okay, thank you.
for you? Try it. If it's not working, come back.
Okay.
Great. All right. Let's see. So Rick, Zach, Mang, Siki, I'm trying to find you good rooms. One thing that will help, believe it or not, is if you can change your name. This is a different instruction. Put your preferred language at the very beginning of your name because it sorts them alphabetically. That will be, we'll have to change that for next time. So whatever your preferred language is. Okay, great. So Siki, I see you're assigned to room 7. Was that room not working for you?
Okay, where can I see my invitation? I can see it.
It should be on screen somewhere. I don't know what your interface is going to look like. And I need to hop over into breakout room 4. Somebody's asking for help over there. I'll be right back.
Okay, okay.
Hold on. Yeah.
Thomas, I would like to go to 看我走了吗？
他说他去帮4组的那边整理一下，一会儿再回来。
哦，你现在是主持人吗？
不是，应该。Rick， 你说什么？我没听清。
EMAC不是有一个小组吗？
对。
能不能拉我进那个小组啊？
我待会儿问一下你，那个你是不方便打英文吗？不方便打英文的话，我跟他们说啊。Hi Thomas, I think you have muted yourself.
Ah, you are correct. No wonder you're not responding. Okay, so I'm getting a request on chat from EMAC Rick.
Yeah.
To go into the EMAC, but there's not quite an EMAC room exactly, but there's a room with several EMAC people in it. I'll try and get you in there.
Okay.
Looks like room 7 has got Aaron, and I think I scattered the EMAC people around actually so that they would have different people to talk to.
I think that would be great.
Okay, let me put you into. Oh, I see. I had you in 7. Siki, you're going to go to room 4. And Rick, how good is your English?
Rick?
And Siki, go ahead and join your room. You should see your room there. And Meng, you're looking for a Mandarin language room?
I can't see my room. You have already assigned me to room 4, right?
There should be yeah. You should have a somewhere on the controls maybe. One of the little like 3-dot menus that you click on it, it gives you additional options. It might be in there.
Oh, I'll try to look for it.
Yeah, I've assigned all 4 of you guys to rooms. If you're having a hard time joining, I don't know what to tell you. I guess we could have a conversation right here. Let's just do it here. What do you say?
Okay, I'm good. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Super. So normally I'd put up on screen the information about, here's what we're going to talk about. I'll just give it to you verbally right now. And Zach and Rick, can you confirm that you're okay with this? And Meng, are you going to be okay? Mostly in English here. Otherwise, I'll just seek you to translate. Zach sounds he's good. So Siki, would you tell Rick and Meng that we're going to just hang out here in the lobby and have a quick meeting amongst the 5 of us?
Okay, I'll tell them. So,海长还有 Rick 那个这样子的，就是我们现在就是我们几个呢可能找不到合适的房间，然后他们就提我们就在这开个快速的一个短会，然后我来给大家做一下翻译，大概这样子 OK 吗？
可以。
OK， 好。Okay, they're great.
Great. Okay, super. Appreciate that. So the first question I have for you is, and if you put this into chat, that's great. Or if you want to just think about your answer and then say it out loud, that's great. The question I have for you is this: what is the most important thing you think the Constitution needs to accomplish?
Thomas 给我们提的一个问题是，就是可以打字，也可以就是口述，就是你们认为在宪法当中就是最重要的一个点或者一个特质是什么？
Again, typing in chat is great. Someone just asked for help in room 2. I'm going to pop over there really quick and check in on them. I'll be right back. But think about that and talk to each other about what's one thing, or maybe more than one, that you think is really important for the Constitution to do. Okay, be right back.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay.
就是说那个他那个就是出去一下，然后待会儿回来咱们讨论，就我们可以先自己想一下，然后可以打在聊天屏幕里面。就是我们觉得宪法里面最重要的一个是什么吧，也有可能是几个吧。这宪法最重要的一个点是什么？
我们这儿3个中国人，1个美国人。
没问题，没关系的。或者咱们每个人先想的不一样吧。我估计这个是类似于的。哎 ，Connie 也来了。
可以。
Hello, Connie。
嗨，那个我那边那个组就是他们，我本来英语就不是很好，然后只能听个大概，然后他们就2个人，然后我加上我3个人，然后我跟他们沟通不太好，还是来说中文的吧。
来吧，我们这边是刚好落单的几个中国人，然后我担任翻译。
OK， 太棒了。
那个刚刚 Thomas 给我们布置了一个问题，就是问我们认为就是宪法里面就是我们认为最重要的一个点是什么？我不知道是让我们讨论还是先自己想，然后写一个可以写在留言板当中。我个人认为可能是先写一个吧，就是类似于头脑风暴的，大家先独立思考，然后再来碰，大概这样的。So Thomas, do you want us to discuss or just think independently? You haven't turned on your mic.
It mutes me whenever I change rooms. It's more important at this point to make sure everyone has had a turn to express themselves, and then the next step is to ask clarifying questions to make sure that you understand each other. Don't try to discuss yet.
Okay. 好，就是先独立思考。
Okay, so Rick just offered his info. Rick wrote, I think the Constitution should tell people what they can or cannot do, just like the Constitution of a state. Outstanding. Can I offer mine?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
I think the Constitution needs to set up a condition such that contracts are enforceable. that if the Constitution does not do the work to allow and ensure that, that contracts are enforceable, then the entire system, I think, collapses. That's my rationale.
Okay, I'll do a little bit translate.
Yes,
Thomas 他的意见，他认为那个宪法当中最重要的一条呢是，宪法是重点是创造一个环境，使得在这个环境当中的合约变得可执行，就是他认为这个是最重要的。如果没有宪法定下来的这个环境，那么合约不能保证合约的执行的话，那么整个系统就可能没有办法有效运转。这是他的一个分享。I'm done here.
I thought if you want to have something enforceable, you should make a lot of rules, a lot of regulations. But constitution should be very brief. So I don't know how our constitution can make something enforceable.
And I will admit that part of the reason I gave that answer is because of something that I had read by, I think it's Norton Rose Feldman is a law firm, and they had done a study of legality of contracts on blockchains. And so a lot of what they'd written has affected my thinking on this topic. And they actually have a list of things that we're going to get into a deep dive if we're not careful. But they do have a list of the things that a constitution has to do to allow for contract enforcement. So the answer is, it is answerable, probably not here today, but I would love to give you a copy of that to read if you'd like. Looks like Suki lost his audio connection.
Yeah, I just lost my connection for a little while. Have I missed something?
Nothing too important, I don't think.
Okay, so I remember you say that the Constitution needs to create an environment that can guarantee that a contract is enforceable, right?
And then I think it might have been Mang or Rick who said that the Constitution should also be very brief.
Oh.
That he felt that was important.
Oh, 我可以用中文说吗？一会儿思琪帮我翻译一下。思琪在吗？
Who else had something they wanted to offer?
你说吧，我看能不能翻译。
就是我觉得宪法中比较重要的就是保持它的含义的唯一性，就是不能有歧义。这样子就是大家执行起来就是保证那个效率还有那个处理的结果是唯一的。
I'll translate for Meng Haigang. He said that the most important about Constitution is that Constitution should be accurate, should have low. People shouldn't understand the Constitution if they read the Constitution, so it can improve our efficiency. Am I clear?
So yeah, I think I'm hearing you say that it needs to be accurate or clear or easy to understand.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. If everyone's had a chance to go, Meng, Rick, Siki, Zach, and Connie, everyone had their chance to answer the first question on what should a constitution do. I want to ask a related thing. What are you afraid of? What are you worried about that a constitution, maybe we need to be careful that the constitution not do something, or you're worried that the constitution isn't done correctly, that something bad might happen? And what's the top number one thing you're most worried about? If you'll have two or three, I guess you could give two or three, but try to stick with one to start with. Let's just take a moment to think about that. Maybe write your answer down.
你可以翻译一下吗？他是说那个可以，就是那
啊
个最
我
担心
行，我来翻译一下吧。那个Thomas 的意思，他第二个问题是说，就是第二个问题是我们最担心，就是觉得如果宪法出问题的话，就是哪一个点上出了问题是最危险的？大概这个，刚刚一个是最重要的，现在这个是哪一块如果出问题的话，你觉得危害是最大的？
哦，
他的意思是，就是你最害怕宪法哪一点？最害怕我在制定宪法的过程中会出现什么问题？
好的，谢谢。那个我想说一点吧，就是因为那个宪法是由那个投票投出来的，所以我比较担心的是那个可能那个交易所会那个把那个宪法最终是由交易所投出来的，就不是广大的那个持有者投出来的，是我比较担心的。谢谢。
Moon just said that he fears that EOS can manipulate the vote for constitution drafts. That's his point.
Can you say some more about that?
That's all he said. He fears that EOS, large token holders can manipulate the vote for constitution draft.
And then if that happens, what's the bad thing that happens because of that? Would you ask?
Sorry?
Would you ask Meng what's the thing that he's worried that the whales will do if they manipulate the vote?
OK，Thomas 问你，就是你害怕那些交易所，他们具体会做一些什么呢？就是你能不能具体化你的问题？
他们可能会投出对自己有益的那些宪法，但是不会就是对自己有害处的宪法，他们肯定不会投或者是反对，应该没有反对吧？但就是他不会去支持他对他有害的那个宪法。
OK. Hi Thomas, Meng just said the whales, big token holders, they may choose. They may choose the constitution that will benefit them. They vote the constitution that will benefit them. That's what he fears.
So for private benefit, not for the good of the group.
Yes.
Okay. And if there's a particular private benefit that he's especially worried about, if you would type that into chat, please. I'd love to know more. But I want to also give Zach and Connie and Siki and also you, Rick, a chance to respond as well. Zach, would you be willing to unmute yourself? I muted you a minute ago. So unmute yourself and take a turn. This is what you're worried about section.
I'm worried about the lack of the referendum. It's impossible to kind of gather the opinion still of the token holder community. So it's really hard to determine the will of the people currently.
Yeah.
Okay, from my opinion, I mostly worry about that. Like I typed in the chat, I'm worried about that the Constitution is not making right, may give one party the superpower. So I think the most important thing is balance. So we need to have the power balance between multiple parties. And if one party has superpowers, so the whole system won't work.
What
so
I
you're
fear
looking for
that
hearing concentration of power is your concern. I was going to ask Connie to go next. Thank
Connie,
you.
okay, I'll do a little bit translate for Connie. Connie，就是他们就请你来分享一下，你比较担心的是宪法出什么问题？你最担心的。
I agree with EOS Qi, and I think the most thing is to keep the balance of the mailing parties or powers. Is my opinion.
Wonderful. Connie, thank you. Thank you for being here today, by the way. It's really nice to see you. Has anybody else not had a turn on this particular question?
I haven't said. What I feel is that the Constitution is being discussed and proposed by a layman like me. I don't know anything about law. So I think Constitution, whatever it is, Constitution of US or Constitution of states, I think it is better for us to seek for consultation from experts, from professionals, law professionals to make the Constitution. Not only hear the voice of US community, but also hear the voice from other industries, professional industries.
So a lot of inclusion in the creation of the Constitution. Okay, I'll be very curious to know your opinion of how we're doing on that over the next several weeks, because that's very important to us that we succeeded. Okay, those are the main questions. Is there somebody here who maybe was taking notes who could summarize what we said? And I'm happy if the summary's in Mandarin.
Okay, I can do it in Mandarin, right?
Yes. And I took my notes in English, and we did record this, so we have access to it. Connie, are you wearing little? Are those bears on your head? That is the cutest thing ever. Thank you.
I can't translate this in English.
Got it. That's adorable. All right. See, Rick and Kevin have come out of room. They're exiled, and I think I stuck them in room 4 all by themselves.
It definitely felt like
Rick,
exile.
in fairness, I assigned a bunch of people to that room, and they apparently were all in the waiting room assigned to your room. I'm still getting the hang of these controls. So
okay, no problem.
So everyone that wasn't able to get assigned to a room, I'm using the browser version of Zoom. By the time I tried joining with the desktop version, the room was full, so it wouldn't let me in. Maybe that was the problem today. Is I bet everyone that couldn't get assigned to a room was using the browser, is my assumption.
maybe so. Yeah. Yeah, this was clearly about as rough as I'd feared it was going to be on our first go. So I'm just grateful people aren't more upset. And I'm going to go ahead and send a 60-second warning.
There's always room to, just sort of, I wouldn't say restart, but like just redo some of this so that people are getting what they want out of it.
Yeah, and I'm perfectly happy to run multiple calls per week in Mandarin so that we get folks who missed it to
yeah, you guys are doing a good thing.
They wanted to have.
You guys are doing a good thing.
Yeah.
I would much rather stumble doing the right thing than be flawless doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Just put out a word that would be about 60 more seconds until the end of the breakout. So I should set a timer so I can keep my word. I'm hoping that my broadcast to all messages are easily visible and attract people. Yep, people starting to come trickling in. There's Dominic. Yep, we're wrapping up. We got like I'm gonna just shut down all the breakout rooms in about 10 more seconds. Okay, I'm closing all the rooms now. That takes about 60 seconds or so. So while we're doing that, we've got about this 45 seconds of weird time where people are sort of half in breakout rooms and half here. The folks who are here in the main room with me right now, if you would please, take a moment in the chat. Some of the rooms have multiple facilitators, I see. Go ahead and type into chat the one thing that most pleased you about your experience just now. Maybe it has nothing to do with the Constitution content, but if you would type into chat the one thing that most delighted you, and Rick, if you would translate that for me.
And Thomas, quickly, if you can hand me co-host so I can record again. When I handed you host, it stopped the recording.
Yeah, it's recording on my end now. Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But yes, I will make sure that you are not powerless. So who would be willing to volunteer to do a Mandarin translation for me? Just wave your hand at the camera if you're willing to translate.
I can do it.
Anita! Anita's waving.
Hey.
Anita, so my request is that folks take 30 seconds and write into chat the one thing that they most enjoyed or most delighted them about this experience so far.
你们能不能就是花30秒在那个下面的那个信息框写一下你们觉得这次会议里面最让你们感到很好的部分和步骤，然后还有什么需要改进的？谢谢。Yeah, done.
Okay, great. So we'll just take a few seconds here to do that. I suspect we'll run a little long. So I want to make sure all the breakout rooms have their chance to talk. Okay. And if you were the spokesperson for a particular room, I'll be calling on you by room number. Dominic is waving. Okay, Dominic, hold up the number of fingers for the room you were in. You were what, room 4, was it? Yeah, room 4 or 5, you don't remember. It's probably not the biggest thing on your plate was to remember what room you were in. Okay, well, we'll do our best. Okay, so I see Achilles from room 8. I see Anna from room 2. Super. Josh was room 5, Brian room 6. Okay. So who was in breakout room 1? Oh, that was Dom. Okay. Whoever the spokesperson was for breakout room 1, can you give us the brief summary of the conclusions you guys reached? And of course, I do want you to also write a more detailed one for posting later. But just to respect everyone's time, if you can be brief and summarize room 1, please.
Sure. So there were basically the two questions, right? What should a constitution do? And then what were people most worried about? The consensus from the room and the different comments about what it should do was protecting individual rights, establishing trust and legitimacy of EOS, mainnet as a whole. And then there was some discussion about helping to define the rules of engagement, so to speak. What are the rules of the chain and the community, and how do we use those to go forward? The concerns, things people were most worried about were ambiguity, not defining those things, not really creating clear guidelines as to what the rules are, that we may not reach consensus at all, that we may just debate kind of endlessly and not find a real consensus, that special interests may ultimately take hold, no matter what we come up with, and that we may not do a good enough job explaining to people in blockchain as a whole why we even need this. That maybe in the end, going through this process, that if people don't understand it, it'll be hard to get buy-in.
Yes. Thank you very much. And Kevin, if you can, I don't know if the next slide is the more appropriate slide for right now, but we don't necessarily need a slide up. It's up to you if you want to put one up. Room 2, the spokesperson was?
Hi.
Anna. Anna, hey Anna.
I guess the general consensus for the first question was to protect life, liberty, and property, to protect the token holders and the investors. So like big investors, like companies that come in, to be able to say that you're protected, we have standards and rules. And then if those rules aren't followed, that there is protections in that within the articles. Another concern was from Meet One specifically, we're talking about how many people lose their keys and how many people need to get, I guess, make a new account or get new keys or want to make sure that their tokens are protected. So being able to say, hey, don't worry about it, we can fix that, and being able to funnel them through being resolved. Having that protection is something that's different from other blockchains. I guess in general, the governance layer of that has been most appealing to people because it's like Wild West almost feeling, and people want to feel secure. That if something goes wrong or someone does them wrong in a smart contract or in any other form, that they can go to a place or they can reference an agreement that we all agreed to, and then use that as protections to get what is theirs back or to detest their behavior or lack of completing what they agreed upon. And I guess and also the BPs maintaining a healthy mainnet is something that was concerned with some of the people in our group that felt like the Constitution could have articles that would ensure that if a BP is not producing a safe mainnet or whatever, that they can be held accountable to the Constitution or an article in that. The weaknesses or what people may fear is, I guess in general, is having one central place that could falter or that could give someone too much power. And I think the reason that that was brought up was because we have EMAC and we also have ECAF, and to be able to have more than one option, and also to ensure that it's not going to be consolidated power to one person, or that human error could be rectified with another program, and it's not your only go-to and you're screwed. You can go somewhere else and try to get rectified again for your concerns.
Wonderful.
That would kind of sum it up.
Anna, that's tremendous. Thank you. And if folks, if there's more detail from your rooms that may not get out in the summaries, please do write them up. We're going to read absolutely everything that's written today. Room 3, I didn't catch a name for rooms 3 or 4.
Group 3 would be myself, Kevin Rose from EOS New York with Rick.
Okay, super. Yeah, I ended up stuffing your room with people who were actually in the waiting room the whole time because I couldn't separate them out, and I didn't realize that I just put the two of you in the same room by yourself. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Would you care to share?
Sure. So we tried to start at the very basic level, the ideas and the kind of design principles that had been so eloquently outlined for the first draft of the Constitution months ago. But we think that one of the most important things for the Constitution to do is, going back to what Dominic had said, is to outline roles and responsibilities of the different member types of the community, and to more clearly establish delineations of power. Who can do what, and how are they granted that authority from the constitutional document. Also, we think it's important that upon reading it, an onlooker should get an idea of how EOS defines itself. We have a very peculiar thing that we're trying to create, in that it is both a community that requires a constitution or like a code of conduct, but it's also a DApp platform that should have some kind of like a terms of service almost that is a little more oriented to, you the developer are entitled to the following. This is how to engage with this platform. So it needs to be able to walk this line between a constitution of a community and a terms of service of a development platform that says to the reader, this is how EOS identifies itself. And that's going to be really difficult, I think.
That sounds like an interesting challenge. Okay, last call on anything else you want to mention. I'm going to need to make people very terse, very brief in their summary.
Sure. The concerns that we have are that we end up with a framework that rather than it provides freedom to move and be flexible, it creates a framework of rigidity and overregulation. That's what our concern is.
Right. Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Again, happy to take a longer form right up from you. I'm trusting that that's forthcoming. Group 4, room number 4. Who is our?
Excuse me, sir. Can I speak first, because I have to go back to IMAC to have an education class. So I can represent the group 8 to speak first. Can I?
Yes,
group
please.
8. Yeah. We group 8 mainly discussion about the most important to the EOS. We think the most important to the EOS right now is to how to reach the consensus in the community, including the domestic and abroad, and also how to build a better system for all the token holders to reach the consensus. The most important thing we care about, the most important thing we really care about is that how to reach the balance of the power, because EOS is a centralized and a decentralized system, a combination of the centralized and decentralized. Some people may have the power, some people don't have, some people may resist it. So it's a key issue to reach the balance. And also, Mr. Lu said he's really worried about that some ordinary token holders and then some investors that don't care about the governance, that don't care about the concepts. How to attract these people into this system to make sure they can contribute to the system, to participate in, is very important. So this is what we talk about. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I have Josh from group 5, or Josh,
Sure.
wherever the group spokesperson was from 5.
Yeah, just go to my notes. Okay, so for the must do of a constitution, be enforceable, needs to have some teeth. Be independent, and we basically said that to mean anyone should be able to read this document and understand what it's trying to say. They shouldn't have to go into the community and ask questions. It should stand on its own. It should define our basic values and goals, and the more broad that it is, the further it'll be and the more future-proof it'll be. It should be accessible to all. So we don't have supporting documents right now for the Constitution. If you look back at version 0.3.0, which you yourself, Thomas, put up on the forums, it had the line of text. It had some intent behind it, some references. We need to get that up for the current Constitution as well, and any going forward. And it's community agreed upon constraints. So right now, to define a constitution, we all start from anarchy and how do we move together as a cohesive group and create communal thoughts. So it needs to basically create those constraints for us. As for the second question, what are we worried about? It's a lack of clarity, lack of certainty. That will go further into making it non-enforceable. The fact that two people can hold up the same document and be on completely different sides of a dispute and feel vindicated by that same document means it's not clear enough. And making sure it's broad enough, going back to what it must do. If it's not broad enough, then it's not going to be relevant in the future, because it's just we're gonna outpace it. Not having enough teeth. So it's basically the exact opposite of what I said before. And not having a handbook, not having supporting documents.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you very, very much for that. Brian, I think, might have been the spokesperson for room 6, or
Yeah.
whoever room 6 would like to
room
have.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, our room is quite diversified. We have My EOS Alliance, and we have a token holder. We have Stefan from EMAC, and I'm from EOS Amsterdam. So the most important thing that we come to a common ground is give everybody the chance to participate, and we definitely need to offer a fairness to everyone. And the challenge that we think it's very hard to realize the East and the West, the differences in culture in terms of using your power for anything, even for voting. And we think it's very important to incentivize the token holders to even to vote. So that's what we said before, is to realize the differences. It's a challenge too. Yeah, Myra, if you have anything to add.
You
right.
forget our keywords. We have 2 keywords for our speech. One is fairness.
Fairness,
yeah. Second one is participant. It's like
participant, yeah.
Yes, we have, like, for example, the China part, thank you for Alliance. Like, we finally can join the meeting. So the participant is really important for us. We appreciate. Jump on my part.
That's super. Was there anything else from room 6?
No.
No.
Thank you very much. Room 7, I didn't catch the spokesperson.
It's me, Shane.
Shane, great.
So we have 4 people in our room, and for the first question, in terms of the most important thing for Constitution, I think a couple points raised in the meeting is that we think that U.S. Constitution should really protect the life, freedom, liberty, and property, and to properly express the opinion and preferences of token holders, and define a clear direction of the community, be integrative of all the token holders, regardless of the size of the tokens that they hold in the wallet. One last point being raised in the first question is, how does Constitution to interact with off-chain states and the legal systems? To the second question, most worried about a couple points reflected, a couple points raised. I think we have a little bit consensus there in the sense how does the voting for Constitution is going to express token holders' opinions and preferences in face in the current context of a lot of influences in our voting, even during the mainnet launch. Now, given that the Constitution is going to be voted with 30% threshold, with 30% threshold for 30 days. Sorry, 15% threshold for 30 days. This kind of influence is something that this group, as a group, we need to discuss about how to mitigate that to a certain extent. I think those are the points being raised in our group.
Wonderful. Thank you, Shane, very much. And then
welcome.
I had Achilles who spoke for group 4, and I had written him down as group 8 by mistake. Who's in group 8?
I think I was in group 4 actually, and they did. Then Connie changed maybe
great.
to group 8. Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead.
Yeah, it was only me and Kyle from EOS Vibes and group 4. I don't know what happened to him. He's not here anymore. But he was the facilitator and I was the speaker anyway. As for the first question, we think that the Constitution needs just to set the rules for EOS community to engage. And at this point, we may have varying opinions on what should be there and what it should say. But basically, we should discuss the values that we want to upheld here, and basically that's it that we got about the what it should do. We agree that it should be small and clear and defend the intent of Code's law, but not much after that. As for the grades, what we are worried about, I think that we both are worried about having a never-ending process of discussing the Constitution and never having one ratified, because I think that we agree that we need a ratified Constitution in order to move on and just get this discussion. Not on the past, we believe and we agree that it will be an evolving document and evolving rules for the community, but we need to have the kind of ratified version one, not necessarily the one it's right now, but we need this one. And we went on to discussion also the implementation of the Constitution and how it should be implemented and who would be the responsible, because I think Josh said if we have a constitution without teeth and that cannot be enforced, why are we having a constitution on the first place? So that was basically it.
Wonderful. Thank you. I believe that hits all the rooms. Did any room get overlooked? I'm not hearing anyone say anything. We did run 15 minutes late. I acknowledge that, and I apologize. We're going to take some steps to streamline things. I'd like to, if you would please, in either English or Mandarin, and I'll ask again for Anita to translate this. If you would please, in whatever you're more comfortable typing, type in one thought of something you'd like to see improved, or a particular way you'd like to see it improved. Either, hey, fix this, or here's how to fix it. Either one of those suggestions. Type that in chat right now, please. And Anita, would you repeat that question for me?
Fix this process of the meeting, or fix
Today's process, yeah.
能不能大家写一下一个对于今天这个会议的看法和意见，然后写在那个对话框里就行，或者 Telegram 也可以。对，谢谢。
Super. And we'll just give that, 60 seconds for folks to get their thoughts together. And then Myra, if you would unmute yourself, let folks know we're going to give this question 60 seconds.
Okay.
You'll tell them that in Mandarin, please.
OK. 60秒的时间，大家写一下改进的意见，因为这个会12周嘛，我们今天来了第一次，已经有点爆棚了，所以说咱们会有一些意见。然后接下来让我把这个都截图下来。
Outstanding.
OK. 我回复一下，
We'll give it a few more seconds.
Sure.
If you have a second idea, go ahead and type that in too. If you want to type in Chinese, feel free to type in Chinese.
欢迎大家拿中文来写，然后我这边也看得到，我截图下来以后，现在咱们再改进。因为咱们是有一个微信群的，所以说我需要大家加一下我微信，我把我微信写到这儿，然后我邀你们进群。然后还有一个电报的群，我们也有。然后电报群的话，我把电报群的链接发过来。欢迎大家线下的话也在讨论，也在交朋友。咱们每一次的话
Okay.
OK.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you very much on behalf of the EOS Alliance. We are hoping to make this better and better every single time. And your showing up here today and your passion for this topic, your help giving us advice and suggestions is invaluable. And Myra, would you translate this?
非常感谢大家的这个出席，今天真的是代表 Thomas 和我们代表 EOS Alliance 感谢大家的出席，每个人的意见都非常非常的重要。然后下一次的话，一定会根据这次的意见做得更好。I finish.
Thank you very much.
再次感谢大家，今天的话延了15分钟，下次咱们一定准时。好，再见。大家可以
And folks will drop off. My next thing, I'm going to bring in the people who are still in the waiting room. There's still 11 people in the waiting room. They've waited all this time. I'm going to let you all go. I'm going to bring them in and apologize to them and explain to them what we did.
大家可以这
You
个
don't have
线
to
下
stick. You don't have to stick around for that.
还有11个人没进来，还在房间等着，咱们去负荆请罪了。
Sorry, Mara, did you share the Telegram link? I don't think you shared it here. Are you going to share in the WeChat group?
Really second. Actually.
If you, Jailin, would you type your request in chat? We're going to go over every single thing in the chat.
Gotcha, yeah.
So Tudor, thank you. Brian, thank you. Martin, Luna, thank you so much. Dimitri, Anna, Aaron, Connie, Gall, Stefan, Raman, Anna, Peter, Ashley, Mike, Elliot, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please hang up. Please go away. I have to talk to the folks in the waiting room now. Meng, thank you so much. CQ, thank you.
See you next time.
Send the telegram into
See you
the
again
group
soon.
already.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. If you have just joined us, it's because you've been in the waiting room all this time. And I've brought you in here to apologize to you. I don't know if the instructions you received told you that we would be limiting our attendance based on how many facilitators we had, so that we would have no more than 6 people plus a facilitator per breakout room. And we discovered that there was literally no way to communicate with you once you were in the waiting room. So we had to keep you there so as not to flood the meeting. And you've been sitting there for an hour and 20 minutes, very patiently. Bless you. I brought you in here to say I'm very sorry. We did not explain our process to you in advance. We sort of had to figure some of it out actually while we were doing it today. And we are taking steps to fix it. But if you'd like to yell at me right now, I'm here. So feel free to do that if that would be helpful for you emotionally to do that. Or I can just say I'm sorry again. And next time we will only, we'll tell you in advance how many folks can be in, and if you get stuck in the waiting room, what that means, so that you're not scratching your head and wondering what's going on. So, and the 10 of you who stuck around for an hour and 20 minutes in the waiting room, you clearly have passion for this, and I want you engaged in this. So we will try our utmost to make this more accessible to you next time. And we will publish the recording of what happened in the sessions, so you'll have a chance to see that. If you have anything you'd like to say, any comments, I've got 10 minutes. I will just sit here and talk with you if you would like. But our session is now over at this point. I'm actually going to stop the recording because this is no longer talking about the Constitution. It's just insider process stuff.
And I'll also point out that